Whatever happens, happens for good. Once upon a time, a young man was traveling through a dense forest. He carried all his wealth and belongings, confident and carefree. Suddenly, a group of robbers appeared, snatched everything he had, and left him empty-handed and stranded. The young man was devastated. He wandered aimlessly, tears streaming down his face, feeling utterly hopeless. As he wandered, he came across an ashram where a wise sage lived. Gathering his courage, he approached the sage and shared his plight. "I've lost everything. The robbers took my belongings, and now I have nothing left. How can you say, whatever happens, happens for good? My life is ruined." The sage listened patiently and smiled. "You may not understand it now, but every incident in life has a hidden blessing. Let me share a story with you," he said. The story of the farmer. Once, in a small village, a hard-working farmer lived with his family. He toiled daily in his fields, but one year, his crops failed, leaving his family with little food. One day, a fierce flood swept through the village, destroying homes, fields, and everything in its path. The farmer's house and whatever food they had left were washed away. Distraught, the farmer sat on the ruins of his home, lamenting his fate. Seeing his father in despair, the farmer's young son tried to console him. "Father, don't worry. Whatever happened, happened for good," he said. The farmer, overwhelmed with anger, shouted at his son, "Are you out of your mind? We've lost everything. Our house, our crops, and even our food. How can this be good?" In his frustration, the farmer drove his son out of the house. The boy, heartbroken, left the village to find work in the city. Back in the village, the farmer and his wife struggled to survive. Days turned into weeks, and they barely managed to make ends meet. Unable to bear the hardships, the farmer decided to search for work in the city. After many failed attempts, he finally found a job with a kind merchant. The merchant paid him well and even offered him and his wife a small place to stay. Months passed, and one day, the farmer's son returned. To the farmer's surprise, the son arrived in a luxurious car, carrying a bag full of money. "Father," the son said, "if you hadn't sent me away that day, I wouldn't have come to the city. I worked hard, started a business, and today, I've succeeded. I've come to take you and mother to live with me in the house I've bought." The farmer was overwhelmed with joy and hugged his son tightly. He finally understood the truth behind the words, "Whatever happens, happens for good." The young man's realization. The sage finished the story and looked at the young man. "Just like the farmer," the sage said, "you may not see the blessing in your misfortune now, but trust life's process. It always works in mysterious ways." The sage then handed the young man a shiny stone. "Take this to the city and sell it," he said. "It'll double you."